Believe it or not, week 8 of CAA football season has arrived. Amanda Poole joined by Rob Washburn here to break down 3 things to watch out for this weekend. Stony Brook hosting number 11 Monmouth, the 3-3 Seawolves coming off a bye week and hoping to lean on that rest when they try and slow down the CAA's top scoring offense. Stony Brook is sitting 1-1 in conference play after a 42-12 win over Hugh Albany in week 6, taking home the Golden Apple. Head coach Billy Kosh taking the bye week to focus on areas of improvement.
Short yards running, that's got to get better. Down the red zone, we get closer. Sometimes we got penalties, things like that knock you back. So it's just self-inflicted wounds, things like that. And then just in the throw game, just being better in our controlled passing game. We got to be a little more accurate, a little more decisive at quarterback, run the right routes.
Offensively, graduate quarterback Chris Zealous leads the unit with over 1,100 passing yards and sits second in the CAA in completion percentage, connecting on about 63% of his passes. On the ground, Monmouth will have its hands full with running back Roland Dempster. The graduate is second in the league with 617 rushing yards and 6 scores. And right above Dempster, Rob, leading the CAA is the Hawks back Rodney Nelson.
Yeah, it should be a great battle between 2 of the top backs in all of FCS. Now, last week, Monmouth remained unbeaten in CAA play with a hard-fought 42-31 road win at Towson. The top offense in FCS showed their balance and patience offensively, putting together 4 touchdown drives of at least 73 yards. Derek Robertson threw for a season-low 250 yards, but he was incredibly accurate, completing 27 of 32 passes with 2 touchdowns. Rodney Nelson was a workhorse on the ground, topping the century mark for the 5th time in 6 games with 152 yards, and he got some help from freshman Elijah Jennings, who added 47 yards and 3 touchdowns. Monmouth has now scored over 40 points against all 5 of its FCS opponents, presenting a big challenge for that Stony Brook defense.
It's a veteran group. They're very good at the linebacker position. So at every level of their defense, they've got, quality players. We've got to be very careful about what we attempt to do offensively. Our hope going in is that we'll have good balance in terms of the run and pass.
William & Mary is fresh off a bye week, the tribe's unbeaten home record to be tested when Elon comes into town on Saturday. William & Mary sitting 2-1 in conference play and looking to build off its 38-34 win over North Carolina A&T from week 6. Now, head coach Mike London says the bye week brought new faces to the surface, saying guys that haven't even been able to play this season will have an opportunity on Saturday. And for young starters like quarterback Tyler Hughes, this past week was a chance to sharpen skills for the back half of a strong CAA slate.
We're growing as an offense. Tyler being our starter, is a guy that's been here, but until you've been in the game and you got those live shots and you got things happening, you have to manifest yourself as or show yourself to be a guy that can handle everything that's going on.
Elon is also 2-1 in CAA play and will look to bounce back from a tough 29-21 loss to nationally ranked Villanova last Saturday. Now, Phoenix did a lot of good things on both sides of the ball and took a 21-20 lead with just over 5 minutes to play before the Wildcats' Jabril Mace changed their momentum with a 97-yard kickoff return for a touchdown. Now, much like William & Mary with Tyler Hughes, Elon has a multi-talented young quarterback in Landon Clark, who's averaging 253 yards of total offense and has accounted for 14 touchdowns through the air and on the ground. The series, Amanda, between Elon and William & Mary has been one of the most competitive in the CAA, with the series tied 5-5 and just one of the past 7 meetings having been decided by more than 8 points.
My message to our players and staff was, that this game won't define us, but how we respond moving forward will. And, we need to learn from it and grow and prepare to be 1-0 this week.
New Hampshire will head to Campbell on Saturday. The Wildcats aiming to snap a 2-game losing skid coming off a tough loss against top 20 Rhode Island, despite carrying a 10-point lead in the 4th quarter.
We hung in there. We battled. And, at the end of the day, you got to go through some of this hardship and find ways to win. And right now, we're not doing that in those key moments. But again, we're going to look to the positives in that and find a way to finish the season strong.
Head coach Rick Santos says he was proud of the team's effort, including a strong showing defensively, holding URI scoreless in the 1st and 3rd quarters. Redshirt freshman linebacker Trevor Berry put up a season-high 10 tackles, and freshman Kelby Hampton earned his 2nd interception of the season, a kind of disruption the Wildcats will need when they take on a top 5 scoring offense at Campbell.
Yeah, that Camel offense was rolling in last week's 38-21 road win in Hampton that got the Camels to 2-1 in CAA play. Now, Camel rushed for 301 yards, which was his highest total ever against a CAA opponent, as J.J. Cowan picked up a career-high 142 yards and 3 touchdowns, and Ethan Lawrence added 80 yards in a score on only 9 carries. Now, Camels were also disruptive on defense, recording 5 sacks and 11 tackles for loss, while intercepting 2 passes, including a pick-6 from Lakeem Rudolph. This game sets up as a very competitive matchup.
Win, lose, or draw the last week, you got to move past and you got to recreate it again the next week. It's the process of learning how to win, and it's not just learning how to win on Saturday, but it's learning how to win on Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday.
To tune into these matchups, here's a look at the Week 8 schedule. 4 teams on a bye, so just 5 conference matchups on the agenda. CAA action starts tomorrow at 1 p.m. Follow CAA football on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter for in-game updates and scores.